What's going on in the world today? What's up, America? What's up, Just Do It movement, legacy builders, and everyone else? I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm excited to be able to finish the year strong. Hopefully, you are finishing the year strong so we can really explode and expand into 2019. I've been talking to a lot of you guys and trying to catch up with a lot more of you guys, getting to know you, helping you with agent attraction, helping you problem solve in your business, and all that fun stuff. So I did want to shoot this video to be able to get it out to the masses, to show you how we have added 321 people in the network in 11 months. And so I just want to say thank you for the leaders that have been demonstrating leadership, believing in the model, helping build RevShare, helping build teams, helping build the network. I am blessed and honored to be able to work alongside of you guys. Now, I've had a lot of people that don't understand the core process of agent attraction. So we're in a great time where people are making decisions about whether they should move their business, what other opportunities are out there. I just literally in the last 24 hours signed up 2 more frontline people. As you can see, I have 22 partners, a couple of husband and wife teams count as one cap. Onboarding a guy out of New Jersey. What's up, Mike? If you listening to this video, also onboarding a new partner out of the Atlanta area. She wants to remain anonymous until the first of the year, but we'll be around 21, potentially 22 partners by the end of the week, and really work through those partners to help them with duplications, operations stuff, agent attraction, to be able to build their network to net 321 agents. We have 280 live in the system. With what is in line and currently in queue is from working with Trent, and I'm hopefully you guys love Trent. Working with Trent is another 40 to 60 agents as well. Now I want you guys to see this, not so that I'm bragging, but I'm going to show you what is possible for you, okay? And the potential if you just focus on this, one day a week, two days a week. And then I'm going to show you how you can get on my calendar, how I can help you, and how you can leverage me to help you build your network until you get enough data in your business intelligent enterprise account, or you really nail your story and your confidence and how you can articulate eXp. So we're right around 11 months into this. And so you guys can see here, I want to go and show you real quick, RevShare year to date. This was a 3-year plan for me, and I've crushed my numbers. We're actually at 106,000. I want you guys to write these numbers down because I'm going to go over to a sheet where Trent saved me from myself from chasing multiple rabbits to focus on my one thing. So, okay. So let's go back over here. You saw 321 agents. Okay. And here's the makeup of what we look like right now on our levels. So 22 partners on the first level. Second level have 117 partners. Third level, 127 partners, which is amazing. And I'll explain what surprised me in this model, which was right around in here. When I ran my projections for my first year, my goal was 150 agents, and I assumed that they would all come in just on my first and second line. I was used to the old way of attracting agents, and I was working in an independent model, throwing up good numbers, but agent attraction was still hard. The fourth level, 39 agents. Fifth level, 15 agents. And I have one agent that just come in on my 6th level. Okay. And a lot of people was like, well, why haven't you tried to get to 40 pretty quickly? I've been pretty strategic with my partners and the people that I'm looking for in terms of an ideal partner where I'm going to spend my life with and my time with to help them build their business, their networks, their teams, and help them break free of the everyday hustle to be able to create some generational wealth with passive income and all of that fun stuff. And so I've been able to unlock my levels as people are coming onto my levels. Okay. And so I've stayed pretty caught up with that. Obviously, need to get to 25 pretty quickly, and that's my focus. And so I'm speaking with a lot more people, vetting them out, seeing if they're a good partner for myself or a good fit, and then figuring out if eXp would be a good fit. And so this is the makeup, and I would reach out to Jeff Willems if you guys don't have a wealth chart. I have my wealth chart hanging up over here where it's visual. I can see it every month. I suggest using like a pencil to update your first lines, write in your second lines, and then whatever your guys' goal is. But use the wealth chart and hang it up where it's visual, update it monthly, okay? So this is the makeup of where we're at 11 months in. So we more than doubled my goals. So thank you guys for that. This model has really exploded. Retention has been outstanding. I think of the 300 plus, and with onboarding close to 350 people, we've only lost 18 people in the last 11 months. I had Trent look up some of their numbers and what they were producing or not producing. And the people that left, unfortunately, were not producing or even pulling people into the business. So they probably wouldn't jump back on another team or something like that. So retention has been outstanding. So thank you guys for your leadership. Thank you guys for everything that you guys are doing. Let me pull up another sheet for you and show you. We'll probably be close to, give me 1 second here. Let me pull up this other sheet. One second, bada bing. I thought I had it pulled up, but I must have pulled it off. So if you guys are in partnership with me and if you guys are building out and helping other people, and you have to be able to lead yourself and build something good for yourself before you can show others the path. But let me show you this one right here. Okay. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So, I had 90 agents in 90 days and 15 partners. Okay. And I was looking for another $25,000 a month, and I was going to start working on some other stuff. And Trent, okay, so now we can see this right here. And Trent built this sheet for myself to basically keep me focused on the one thing and to save me from myself, right? And I'll explain what you're looking at here. So horizontally in July, when he built this sheet, I had 141 agents, was just really getting into my rev share. Now Trent went and spoke with people and other agents and team leaders that had been in this business longer than 2 years and was asking how much money they were making per agent collectively on average off every single agent in their network. And it was usually, it was no lower than 800, and it was usually up to about $1,000. Okay. And they were growing, agent count wise, about 18% month in, month out without fail. Okay. So we are in November right now, and I'm growing actually at close to 22%. So let me go down here and click 22%. So I'm growing close to 22%. So I just showed you in my back office, we were at 320 agents with what's onboarding, and we have another 40 to 60 onboarding. So we're probably close to, predictably, with what we know in Q and what we know from working with Trent, that the people that have their independent contractor agreements, close to about 350 to 360. Okay. So we're hitting close to these numbers, and we've hit these numbers every single month. We're yet to miss a projection off of this spreadsheet so far, off the last 5 or so months, 6 months, because even looking back at June, we were spot on. But right here is the rev share that's to be paid out. And I just showed you how I was at about 106,000 for the year that's been paid out. Passive income, and we keep building. It keeps growing. And, I launched January 12th, had 90 people in 90 days right around March. So I got a couple small revenue sharing checks back in April, May. June was probably like 4,000 to 6,000, and then it shot up in July. And as you can see, I was at 106 total. Okay. Now this is where it gets pretty interesting, because I adjusted my goal from 150 agents, because and I'll go back to that other sheet to show you where the actual magic happened on that third level that I did not account for. But I adjusted my goal close to 400 to 450 really. I ended up having to take some time off here recently, which was a blessing, and I still cashed 5 figures out that month by taking 5 weeks off. Once the foundation was built, I also took a more time off this summer than I probably taken off the last 7 to 9 years in real estate. And so really didn't even give it 100% in terms of effort, which was pretty nice to be able to take that time off. But I'm looking forward to really crushing 2019 and powering all the way through it. And there's different reasons of why I had to take some time off, some personal, some family. Some in the summertime went and spent some time at my buddy's lake house. And this is why this model is perfect. And I love this model, and why you should too. And you should be enthusiastically sharing it with everybody that you come in contact with. And I'll say almost every single person of my 22 partners, 19 active floor people had already looked at eXp, and they've already I've heard about it, right? But being able to position myself, the vision and leadership win also with the execution to help them execute is worshipped, and it wins. And so execution and leadership win. And so hopefully you're working on your leadership skills, your execution, your systems, and all that stuff. But in January, in between January and March, we'll probably hit close to 500 agents. And so that's pretty exciting. And that's when I'll make my next announcement and update video. I will be dropping more videos to you guys, formatted like this, that will be specifically going out to our group. Don't share this outside of our group. This is just for our group, for your guys' knowledge, a good way for me to communicate with you guys, keep you up to date, and all that stuff. Now, this is where Trent saved myself. Like, okay, making 106 by the end of the year, I'll probably hit maybe 115,000 in rev share passive income, and that's just rev share piece that I showed you. Now, if I keep growing and we keep growing the same exact way that I've grew the last 11 months, over the next 12 months, off of the same numbers, I will profit over $1 million next year, rev share. Now, how much money would change your life? Would it be a couple 100,000? Would it be a couple thousand a month? I don't know what number you're looking for, but I would love to learn about that number. And I'm going to give you the core process that you've probably heard about and you've seen the webinars. And I thought it was too simple, and I almost didn't stick to the plan when I launched January 12th. However, most people are growing at this 18%. So the law of diminishing growth has to set in at some point in time, but I feel like we're picking up more momentum. 2019 is definitely going to get a better shot for myself. I had to learn a lot about eXp, had to build the foundation with other great leaders and partners. And we had a lot to learn in terms of cadence, rhythm, flow, communication, new systems, processes, and all that stuff. But let's just hypothetically say I drop down to 18% growth, which I think, is conservative numbers, but I think it's also realistic, and making on average, $800 per agent. That means if I go off 18% this year, I would only made, 88,000, which, I'll probably make 20,000 more than that. But this is what kept me focused right here, because this was $100,000 a month business model for myself at the end of the 3-year mark, where it was going to be a bust, where I had to be pretty close or on track or within reach to hit that $100,000 a month. And as you can see here, at the end of year 2, going into the end of the 3rd quarter, into the 4th quarter, I will probably start to experience my $100,000 months, or be close to this net number right here. My goal for my 2-year plan off of this, I figured the first year would be a bust, or close to 90 to 120,000. But there's some other growth that I'll go back to that sheet and show you in a minute. But 350 to 400,000 was my goal for year 2, and I am on track, and we are on track to double that. To be able to hit close to 800,000 is going to be amazing. And so staying focused on my one thing and helping other people build their teams and build their network, and jumping on Zoom calls, doing 3-way calls, sharing the webinar, reaching out to people, trying to vet out good partners is going to pay off if you just stay consistent and you stay focused. And there's a nurturing process that has to happen with agents, because I have people joining me that I spoke with 6 months ago, 8 months ago. Some of them are the people that joined me 6 months ago I spoke with when I first launched, and it took them about 6 months. So just like we nurture buyers and we drip on them and communicate video, drip, we reach out to them, same way that we do sellers, this game is going to be no different to be able to build social proof with agents, be able to story tell around with them, be consistent, come from a place of authority as we grow and leverage other leaders like myself, Jeff Willems, Brent Gove, Gene Frederick, Rob Flick, and we have masterminds every 90 days. I think I've missed one this last year, and so I would suggest making it to every single one of our masterminds, bringing people with you. Just invite them. They'll be able to rub shoulders with the best of the best that they're going to be in partnership with and be in their line, and they'll help pull those people in and spend time with them and help them go through the process of facing their fears, addressing concerns, gossip, rumors, bringing the truth to them to help them make a decision to be able to join the network as well. Now, Rob Flick is on his 3rd year, and I just spent some time with him in New Orleans, and he's on track, and he's around 18% to make $5 or $6 million this year. I don't know if I'll hit $5 or $6 million in my 3rd year, but I hope so. All I can go is off of the past, off of the future leaders, off of their percentages, put that template over how fast I'm growing and my growth rate and how much I'm making per agent. And so I will probably crush my $400,000 passive residual income mark next year. Hell, if we don't hit 800,000, I'm still going to come from a place of gratitude if we hit 400,000, because that was what the original goal was back in 2017 for my projections in 2019. Try to business plan 2-3 years out in advance with some type of predictable activities and key KPIs, key performance indicators. Okay. And so it's going to be interesting to see what we do. I'm fired up. You should be fired up. And so, when I closed my equity piece and paid to get out of my other deal, and took a couple months off, I was working on ClickFunnels. I was dropping a lot of videos. I was working on my own webinar. I was independent. I was used to getting big results and, doing a majority of the things on my own with great people around me, obviously. And when I went and launched this last January, I spoke with Rob and I saw people that were selling 25 houses a year, 50 houses a year, but their rev share after a year mark was 20,000 a month, 15,000 a month, 10,000 a month, some of them 30,000+ a month. They didn't have big teams and were throwing up big numbers. They were just following this core process with the well chart, sharing the updated webinar, and all of that stuff. And so when I talked to Rob Flick, I said, this seems so too simple and it seems too easy or even almost cheesy to work. But I saw all these other people up there crushing rev share, and they're exactly where I'm at today. And I was setting a zero, and I wanted to be exactly where they were. And so I'm not about reinventing the wheel. That's what we did with, how we were selling 1,000 homes a year. We traveled the country, figured out what worked from other people in seminars and events, and paid a lot of money. And we took bits and pieces from everybody to be able to create and make our own to get it to where we sold, close to 6,000 houses in 7 years. And so I'm not stupid. I scrapped everything that I was working on, and I launched from the beach January 12th of last year, and I followed this process. I still put out good content. I still put out video, value driven, to be able to create an inbound vortex of people asking me questions, and then naturally eXp conversation comes up. I have people reach out to me all the time asking me about eXp. And I'm going to talk about my first mistake that I made is I was trying to, even if I knew them, I was trying to skip giving them the webinar. And then I would end up in a 2-3 hour conversation with them. And I was still learning eXp myself. And a confused mind always says what? no, or not at this time, or I'm going to have to think about it. And so, I was giving webinars to people that I didn't know and say, hey, give me a call back and let me know what you think. And then I was trying to close them myself. And the best way that I could put this, it's kind of like when you're a buyer's agent or when you first got in the business, you're only as good as what's on that MLS sheet when you're on the field. And you're like, oh, let me go back to my team. I got a great broker. I have good team leader, good support. I'll figure that out. And then it takes hours or days to relay information. Well, I was having to do that with the leadership above me versus getting them on a 3-way Zoom call and letting them do the positioning and storytelling and educating piece of eXp for me. And then I was able to learn through observing. And so, now if I know that person, or even if I have a friendship with them and they're asking me about eXp, I learn about their business first. I say, okay, you're great. I'd love to tell you about eXp. But before we get to that, tell me a little bit about your business. What's the makeup of your team? What do you like about the current model you're working in? What was your volume last year? What were your unit sales? What's your biggest choke point? What are some of your pain points? Okay. What technology do you currently use? What type of overhead are you carrying? What's your net? And so really vet them out and understand their business. And then they're going to say, okay, well, let's talk about eXp. And then I'm going to let them know, hey, I got to jump off here and get on another call. Here's what I'm going to do for you. Okay. I'm going to send you this 45-minute webinar, and I want you to watch it from beginning to end. And the reason I'm going to send you this webinar is because I don't have time today, but it basically takes a 3-hour conversation of going back and forth and shrinks it down to 30 to 45 minutes. Okay. So what time, and I don't send this out to everyone, so please don't share this with anyone, but I am going to send it to you because I think you could potentially be a good partner. And I want you to be able to understand the model and the truth fully. Okay. Now, what time do you think you're going to watch this? And the reason you want them to set a time, because after they commit to a time, then you're going to send them the webinar. Okay. And then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to ask you for 2 small commitments. I just sent you the webinar and your email address. Make sure you get their email address, even if you send it through Facebook Messenger, and their phone number, because you're going to start to build a database of agents of how you're going to drip on them, nurture them, and communicate with them. And if you don't have a big list yet, or you don't know where to put them in an Excel spreadsheet, get a hold of me and I'll show you how to start to build a database to effectively communicate with these people and nurture them digitally. Okay. And so you say, I just sent you that webinar. Okay. I got to ask you for a couple small commitments. The first one is obviously 30, 45 minutes of your time to commit to actually watching that video. And you're going to watch it tomorrow at 7:00. Now, the reason I asked for you to pick a time is because I'm going to also put that on my calendar. And it looks like I have some time open because I want you to give me a call back and I want you to punch holes in this. All right. I want you to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. And I'm okay with any type of feedback. And also, we can talk about things you're skeptical about, or how this can impact and change your lives like it has with so many other people. So can I count on you for those 2 small commitments? 90% of the time, they're going to say yes. If you was genuinely interested in their business, you ask them a lot of questions about their business, what's working, what's not, their technology, their agent count, full-time agent, part-time agents, how much money they're making, what their staff looks like. And then maybe through that dialogue, you can, if you have enough experience, you can see red flags and give them a couple dots to start to build some authority and trust with them, and become relatable. And so when they give you a call back, okay, this is where I also messed up. I was like, I am Adam Bailey, I can handle these calls, right? And I was botching a few of these opportunities. And so then I spoke with Jeff, and Jeff's like, dude, get me on the call. I've been doing this a year and a half. And so I started leveraging Brent. I started listening to Jeff, and I just humbled myself. And through that process, I learned a lot. And I listened to them pitch eXp a good 40, 50 times and storytell. And I was able to interject with my experience on the surface And now I'm able to handle a majority of those conversations for myself, unless I need to bring in social proof, third-party verification, let them meet other partners that they're going to be in partnership with, and all of that stuff. And so what I suggest to you is get with Trent. We update or Brent updates the webinar every so often, and use the most updated webinar. Create curiosity, get them excited, get them wanting to know more information, but don't try to explain eXp. Let the webinar do the selling of the structure, the fees, the breakdown, all of that stuff for you. So when they give you a call back, text me. My phone number is 316-409-3916. Write that down. 316-409-3916. And if you have somebody, try to give me at least 12 to 24 hour notice, somebody that's committed to watching that webinar. You know what time they're going to call you back. Hit me up, make sure I'm available, and we'll do a screen sharing Zoom call, and I will be able to put them through the core process on the back end of how I'm helping close people and helping people come to a conclusion or a decision if this is a good fit or not, to help other people build their network till they build their results, learn in depth about eXp, and then they solidify their story, and can position themselves and cast a vision large enough to get people to make a decision. Okay. So leverage me. If they're producers and if they've watched that webinar, this is what I'm spending a majority of my day working on, helping people with their team, helping pull people into the network, helping people make marketing decisions, helping them come up with an operation plan, and all of that fun stuff. Okay. And so, create that curiosity, let them know the mission that we're on, get them the webinar, let it do the selling for you. And then get somebody in the upline. If you understand disc profiling, if you feel like Brent, Jeff, or myself, or anyone else in our upline is a better fit for that person, skip over me and reach out to them, because they want to help you guys build as well. We're all in this together. We're in financial alignment. Collaboration and triangulation make all of this work. And so you're not alone. Let us help you build. Okay. And then as you start to get enough data or agents, Trent can help you get your own predictable model up. And Trent has been spot on with his predictions month in, month out, with agent count and totaling close to rev share, because I'm at close to 22% growth with agent count and revenue. So it's going to be exciting for 2019, but I just wanted to give you guys what I'm doing, the core process, and I'm still putting good content out there, trying to lead with value. You'll see more videos on Facebook from me, more interviews, just more pushing of content, similar to what you've seen in the past. You'll see more videos coming out to you guys directly. So keep this between us, to help you guys build and to communicate as we keep growing, because it's pretty exciting. Now, I would challenge each and every one of you guys to think about what makes you different other than eXp, because like what I had stated earlier, a lot of the my frontline people had already looked at eXp, right? So what was compelling about working with Adam Bailey? What can we do better than our competitors? What are we doing that our competitors are not doing? And the business intelligence tool with the expansion piece of this was huge for me, right? This is why I'm here, to be able to help more people, to be able to move and operate on purpose again, to be able to change lives, create generational wealth, to break you free of the business. However, not everyone comes for rev share. So we got to really listen. What was, when I ask people what got their attention from the webinar, it might be stock. It might be KV Core. It might be able to just be able to have access to the network. Okay. It might be able to be splits. I mean, it might be able to eliminate, broker fees as independents, or accounting fees, or whatever. And so really understanding those pain points and solving those pain points, people will take action 70, 80% of the time to be able to avoid pain or solve pain than to enhance pleasure. I mean, we know that. And Mark Benefield in our mastery class teaches a lot of that stuff. How do you enhance the working environment with your agents through the cloud environment, working through Zoom and stuff like that, giving them a tour of the cloud, getting them into meetings, getting them a 3-day pass, getting them involved and show them how you can talk to agents and holding their hand through that process. That's going to be huge. Find that compelling reason, that compelling pain, that compelling pleasure point, and being able to enhance or solve those problems. And I will tell you, you guys heard me talk a lot about leadership. Strong leadership is important. Okay. Being able to have vision, support with problem solving, and leaders who are acting like leaders are key. This isn't just about recruiting a bunch of people that's going to recruit a bunch of people and we're all going to be filthy rich. That's not how any of this is going to work. This isn't about recruiting. This is about strategic partnerships and being able to work with that person and take it a step further and determine, our specific value that we're going to add to each other, and being able to exchange our expertise to be able to bring power networks and power teams together to be able to create something bigger and better for not just us, but our family, our agents, and everybody else that is connected to us. Lead generation is going to be a hot topic. Agents need to be able to generate leads. They need to be able to prospect. That's why we have live and direct, where you can listen to live calls. Hopefully we have other people that want to step up, where other people in the network can listen to live calls. We help train each other and we share in that. I am focused heavily on lead generation going into this next year. I've always had pay-per-click advertising guys that worked on our team, ran our ads and stuff like that. And I have a potential partner that I'm working on where we can find an actual scalable piece to lead generation for low cost to manage it, and how to bring that stuff in-house for the network and stuff like that. Being able to build good brands outside of eXp is going to be important. You got the Clarence Graham group, you got Tierney Jordan, you have Matt Smith, you have Jamie Garlock. I mean, and the reason I only mention those is because those are some early adapting teams and brands that came on. And so I don't want to leave anyone out. They're just building good brands powered by this Intel chip called eXp. All right. And so don't just rely on eXp's brand. Build your own brand and be known for something, but eXp is powering your brand. And this was a tough lesson I had to learn back in the days when I was 22 and I started my own insurance agency with Aflac. I was going around, Aflac's a Fortune 500 company. I'm 22, 23 years old, and I'm selling all this stuff with Aflac. And this gentleman sat me down and said, hey, you're not going to be in business in a year. You don't have any credibility. You don't have any social proof. You don't have a brand. You don't have a track record. You don't have consistency. You don't have testimonials, right? And he said, I don't know how you got through this door, but I would have never spoke with you. But here's what I can promise you. If you listen to me today, and he kind of coached me up, and I only made $11,000 my first year after I dropped out of college and started an insurance agency at Aflac. And he said, if you're still in business 1 year from today and you have some social proof and some traction, I'll give you my account of, it was like 30 or 50 employees. 1 year to the day, I was still struggling, had some social proof, some testimonials, a little bit of business, some passive income, residual income coming in. And I said, hey, it's me. Knock, knock, knock. And I'd be damned, he gave me all of his business. And that changed the trajectory of my whole career with Aflac until I sold my shares in that business when the market crashed and took a year off before I got in real estate in 2008-ish or whatever. And so building your own brand and being able to build systems and build stuff for your team before you can attract other like-minded people is going to be important. There's no way that I would have been able to attract the partners that I was able to attract without building previously what I built before. People trust me. And then I'm able to work with other like-minded people. They like me. We build good friendships. We have a lot in common. And so it's more natural, right, for us to start building together, helping each other, sharing resources on a much larger scale than what I was doing before. And being able to demonstrate leadership, whether it's in your brick and mortar offices or in the cloud with educating and training, we're going to have to get our people trained up, ramped up, and off to a good start. That's going to be the most healthiest thing that we could do is get people in the cloud, get them in the training in the cloud, get them familiar with the cloud. And that was one piece that I underestimated when I came on with eXp was the cloud, because I came for the business intelligence tool, and I have been pretty impressed with the cloud over this last. Sorry, closing some stuff out. My notifications are coming up. Anyways, so get them synced into the cloud. Data management tools are going to be important. Get them synced up with KV Core. Get them ramped up with that. Coaching and accountability, being able to work with your people. I know if you're on my front line, I'm talking to you once a week, if not every other week. Some people, once a month, depending on how self-sufficient they are or whatever. Administrative support. Agents are working harder, but most are not working smarter. And so if you have a single agent and you have a transaction person, or you know where to get transactional service, share that with them. Okay. Or if you have an inside sales agent, or you know where you can outsource one, or you want to work with us to help you get one trained or ramped up, get them into our live and direct. Let's get these people in higher leverage situations. This is all about time, money, and value, and getting rid of the low level situations, which is the $12 to $15 an hour paperwork or other tedious stuff in the business. Okay. And when I talked about nurturing agents, we're going to have to be able to farm for agents as well, and build a database of agents, and then we're going to have to drip videos on them, leading with value, educating, teaching, coaching, training. And so you can get a hold of me, and we can get these people in my database of how I'm going to be dripping on them going into 2019 to be able to create an inbound vortex, because at this point in time, eXp has been hyped up, but the hype is real. However, I don't want to just focus on the hype and focus on eXp. I want to focus on differentiating or dying. Okay. And becoming a leader within eXp is going to take value. Here's hot buttons for the agents right now: technology and support, and being able to shoot videos around technology and support, advantage training and coaching, advanced or even advantage training, comparative commission structures, how to structure teams. I spoke to 2 people yesterday, how to structure splits inside of the split with eXp, and the different models that I'm seeing work and that are profitable out there inside of eXp, and being able to just go in depth, like almost with the podcast and with video with that stuff. These are different things that you guys should be thinking about. How are you consuming this content right now? You're watching and recording on your time, and it's pretty lengthy, but I think it's necessary. I wanted to add some value to you guys. And so you gotta also talk about marketing. I've had 4 marketing conversations today, 2 with people in the network and 2 people outside of the network, of where to take their marketing, which platform is best to run a team, which platform is best for a single agent. Where can you get cheaper leads at? Where can you get expensive leads? Cash conversion cycle of those leads. I know I'm going to be speaking on the 10th for a group of people on expireds. You need to hop back in expireds and cancellations. Most markets are shifting back to a buyer's market right now. So there's probably about 80% of agents that are not making a living full time in your market, taking listings, and they're not selling. And so you're going to have to have a strategic plan with expireds and cancellations as that comes roaring back, and a good pricing strategy and a good presentation on how to articulate that stuff, and being able to talk about that current state that we're in right now. Personal assistance, operations stuff. A lot of you guys get to work with Trent, my operations guy. He's an operational ninja. He's probably helped a lot of you guys with the systems. And if you guys need any information, staying caught up with agent attraction, buyer and listing presentations, unique value propositions, whatever we have, get that stuff from him. We have a huge swipe file. You might have to repackage it, make it your own, brand it with eXp, brand it with your brand, subtract from it or add from it, whether it's tangible value or perceived value to make it yours, but communicate with Trent. And all of these things that we need to be talking about to agents outside of RevShare, outside of stock, because those are the hot buttons for agents. That's what's making them tick right now, because you don't know how powerful RevShare is until you experience RevShare. And here's what I mean by that, or an outside agent. The business intelligence tool, the software, the enterprise account is what I was looking for. I'm like RevShare. I'm an independent KV Core. We're running Boomtown, managing 100,000 active leads. Until I saw enough data inside of enterprise, I said, this is exactly what I'm looking for. RevShare was just a RevShare, right? Like, until I could see it tracked, how it was managed in the tool, all of that stuff changed everything for me. Okay. But not everybody's here for RevShare, but until it changes their life, they're not going to get excited. Shout out to Chris Sims out of Washington. When I spoke in front of like 300, 500 agents in Vegas at our mastermind a couple of months ago, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, Adam, I just want to say thank you." I said, "For what?" He's like, "My rev share was $500 this month." He's like, "That covers my boat payment." And he referred, a couple of agents and team leaders with 5-6 man teams. They ended up making commitments. They went under him. He didn't know too much about agent attraction. He just came here to be able to work with myself and have access to that knowledge and to communicate with me. I went back and forth on text with him. Today he was a single agent. I got him hooked up with a transaction coordinator. He also hit icon status. I think he'll make 350,000 this year, which is more than what he made off the sell side that previous year from the other brokerage. But he called me even like the next month after he saw me in the mastermind. He's like, "My rev share check was $1,000. So $1,000 got his attention, and he told me he didn't come here for the rev share, but he sees that this opportunity is changing his life. He's making more money. He's being awarded his cap back to him in the form of stock. He's getting rev share. He's getting excited. So he's talking to more people. He's coming up with a game plan. I think he just referred a brokerage that he just reached out to as a single agent, an independent brokerage of 66 agents, and got them to speak with Jeff Willems. And he's getting them in line to speak with me next in the next couple of days. Just because that $500 to $1,000 over these last couple months changed his whole perception with RevShare. However, we can't lead with RevShare. We got to focus on their business, help them streamline that. Then agent attraction will come naturally. People will just ask about it. How are you selling so many houses, right? If you're uncomfortable or don't have enough social proof or experience yet to reach out, we will help you, and we'll help you build until you start to build your rev share and build your story and build your excitement. But what Chris is doing now is going person to person, enthusiastic about the opportunity. So my question to you is, how much rev share would it take to change your life? I know this is $100,000 a month for me or bust, but how much would it take just to change your life? 4,000 a month, 5,000? It's taken almost 2 years, to be able, towards the end of that second year mark, to be able to hit my third year goal, right? So this was a strategic strategy on my end, which was 3 years. And so stay consistent and stay enthusiastic, and it will pay off for you. But if you're going to recruit experienced agents, you're going to have to create a hit list. And I challenge each of you guys to create a hit list and start reaching out to people while everybody is looking at other models and speaking to other leaders. The time is now. Okay, just think, if every single one of us pulled a couple people in right now, what type of momentum would that create for your network and your business? Go to your MLS and print that roster off and get me that roster. And I'm creating an outbound plan, and I'll be reaching out to people in your market to help put them under you. Okay. Get me the list. Whoever gets me the list and working with me in those markets, and they're proactive, they're going to be the one that are reaping the rewards. Okay. But create a hit list, find your target market. So, or ideal partner. When I launched, I just wasn't looking for single agents. I was wanting to partner with team leads, like a couple of them that I'd previously mentioned. They had infrastructure. They already had success. They had team members. They were wanting to level up, right? And I've already moved through them stages, so I can give them suggestions how to problem solve or how to resolve pain points to get them to that next level. But eventually they're going to want to play this larger game that I'm playing, and I feel confident that I could help them. So figure out your hit list, make your hit list, write it down, make it visual. All right. And try to be proactive, or without a doubt, just do it and pull in each and every one of us, make a commitment to pull in 1 to 3 people over the next 30 to 60 days on a partnership, and watch that partnership change the trajectory of your business. I just showed you results, a predictable model. I'm not special. I haven't done anything special. What I did was follow a simple game plan from the people that have been in longer than me and people that I'm trying to model. This is all about modeling the model that I'm trying to model. And I'm not talking about eXp's model. I'm talking about the agent attraction model. Okay. And we're going to have to get these people into a database. I touched on different ways that we're going to have to drip on them, touched on some of the topics that we're going to have to talk about, but we're going to have to follow up and build relationships. Relationships win here. If we're not building relationships and we're not following up with these people and getting to know them personally, getting to know their hobbies, getting to know their family, getting to know not just the positive in their life, but the negative. Some of my best coaching has not came from the tactical part of real estate. It's around mindset. We all get in slumps. We all have bullshit that sideswipes us and blind spots that takes us out. When I talk about me just taking some recent time off, I had something huge happen in my life that it was a blind spot. And I had to take some time off to reframe that conversation in my head to come back bigger and better to explode in 2019. I'm human. You're human. And so if you're having shit go on in your life, hit me up, because this isn't about rah-rah, and this isn't about I only talk to Adam when I have people coming in or celebrating victories. Like, that stuff is cool. But where real growth happens, and where the real growth and the real stretching outside the comfort zone or getting back on track happens when we get vulnerable and we become open and we can talk things through. And, you know, I just did that here recently I just had a feeling to reach out to somebody that's on my second or third level. And she texted me back and said, hey, things aren't going so good. And then I picked up the phone and called her, and she said, I hate even telling you this. I said, why didn't you call me sooner? We could have worked on some of these problems. And she said, because I didn't want to bug you, because I know how busy you are. And I don't want to, talk about negative stuff. And so I told her, I get paid to solve problems. If I'm not solving problems, we're not growing. We're not making money. And so then we solved some mindset problems, and there were some actionable items that I gave her. And she said, I just want to thank you, Adam. And I said, for what? And she said, because you're authentic and you're real. And that is where a true friendship starts. And we can build upon that for longevity and for retention. If I wouldn't have hit her up, or I would have just kind of ignored the problem, or, okay, and not dove into that mindset, reframing the conversation, helping talk through some of those things with her, coming from a place of empathy, not sympathy, but empathy, doing some storytelling around it, identifying that, hey, this problem other people faced, here's how we've got out of it. I wouldn't have been able to connect to her the way that I've connected on that call. Okay. And so we have to build these relationships, and it's going to take time, and it's going to take real genuine approach to it. And we're going to have to keep promoting after each hire, after each win, and after each success. This is when the hype comes in, is through the storytelling. You guys just see this on the internet with us, new partner, new this and that. Like, when you see those things, comment on those posts. If you see they're connected to, us in any way, the Just Do It movement, legacy builders, or, anyone else that that's with us, hype that up, because other people will see that. The hype is okay, but we're going to have to promote and market our victories. But behind closed doors, we deal with our own problems and we help each other out and we deal with those vulnerabilities. But out in the public's eye, get to the mastermind, support each other on the internet. The more likes, the more comments, the more algorithm frequency is going to bump them to the top. And they'll do the same for you. You guys see me comment, you guys seeing other people support each other. And if you're wondering why we're doing that, is because we're one team, one dream. Okay. Also take this offline. There's going to be a digital aspect to this. And also there's going to be an offline approach to this, not just following up with them on a phone call, but send letters, personalized letters as much as possible. If you see that this person's winning in your MLS and you see that they're winning, like, handwritten letters are obsolete. I received a written letter from somebody from Canada that said, hey, I think you're too busy, blah, 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 but I'm having problems in my business. They're not in my network and they've never been a coaching client. I picked up the phone and called that person and they were just like, holy shit, I can't believe Adam Bailey called me. And then I gave them a couple coaching sessions and attempted to help that person get back on track, work on their mindset, give them some strategies to win and some actionable items. And I said, the reason I called you, because I get tons of Facebook messengers, right? And I get tons of emails and I'm staying caught up with the network and I'm focusing on people that are already here and bought in. And I said, the reason I called you is because nobody writes handwritten notes anymore. And I could tell you wrote this out by hand and it was you that wrote this. And I called you. And so write as many personal letters as you can to people. Optimize it in real life time for the situation that's going on. If they just closed a deal, or if they're on fire with a lot of stuff, and you want to be able to leave it with an actionable call to action to catch up for dinner, happy hour, or drinks. And if you want to know how to handwrite letters and be consistent about this, hit me back up. And if you want to hack the system and cheat, there are companies out there that do fundraising events that will handwrite letters for you. You just type out the copy or whatever, or you could even do like a voiceover and give them what you want to say, and they'll handwrite it for you and send it out. And it's like $5 a card or handwritten note or something like that. And all types of fundraisers and stuff like that for kids and other people will do that for you. And there's some other cheaper places across seas with VAs and stuff like that. Okay. So, when's the last time you've gotten a handwritten note? That's, that'd be a question, right? And we get so much junk mail. We ciphered through it. And when we see something that looks like a handwritten note, we stop and we look at it and, oh, this is done by a machine, or you can typically tell. But if it's a handwritten note and you have 50 things in the mail, a bunch of junk mail, bills, whatever, that's going to be the first thing that you open right there. And if it's authentic and genuine and you're consistent with that, you're going to start to build a relationship with that person on top of your videos and dripping and leveraging myself and other people in the network and stuff like that. There's a bunch of other things that I could talk about with sending gifts to them, like lumpy, one time I sent this person this kit that they had to put together, and I said, doesn't it seem like taking your career to the next level feel like a giant brain teaser sometime? And then I put a letter talking about problems of how I got to the next level and what I have going on. And I sent them a brain teasing kit that they had to put together. I spent $10 on that kit, but I had my number and a call to action with a handwritten note. And that person called me and they said, I can't believe you sent me this teaser kit. I'm going to try to put it together. And once I put this together, we'll do lunch and I'll bring it to you for lunch. Right. And so being able to do stuff like that, there's some other things that you could do. I've never did this one, being able to send like paper airplanes, or not paper airplanes, but them styrofoam airplanes, sending, like a big one to somebody and it says, you're soaring, you're crushing your cells. I couldn't be more impressed. And then you can handwrite a letter, on top of what you're dripping with a call to action to get back in front of them. If you see somebody that could be struggling, you can get those styrofoam bricks for like $7 to $10 online, and say, have you ever felt like you've hit a brick wall with building your team or in production? And then send them styrofoam bricks with a personalized note with a call to action. And I can get you guys some of this content out as well as you want. So some other cool things, if you're trying to get their attention with a handwritten note, is have you ever seen them hand clappers? Buy a bulk of those. And then when you see somebody winning in your market or in MLS, you could also send them those clappers or one of them and say, a round of applause. And hey, I just saw you close like, a big deal or a higher average a home outside of our sales price or whatever, just to keep their attention. And people like humor and people like creativity and differentiating themselves from just like a normal recruiting call. People want to see creative marketing, creative agent attraction. And yeah, you're going to spend a little more money mixed in with your handwritten note. You're going to kill the competition with authenticity. All right. We also all know about the ups and downs. So if you're trying to target some agents and get them to your team to work leads, some cool stuff that I've seen done before is, also having bulk yo-yos on hand. Like we all know those, yo-yos, right? And so we've always heard about the roller coaster effect. And so you could, talk about no more yo-yoing in production. Don't you hate the ups and downs? Don't you feel like a yo-yo some days and some months? And then talk about storytell when you had downs or when some of your other agents had the roller coaster effect and how you help them with blind spots and how your agents don't have super lows and all of that stuff and with the yo-yo and so just creative stuff. All right. If you have somebody that's creative with marketing, be back creative with them and one up them. Send them a huge box of crayons just with a simple note. Hey, I'd like to celebrate your creativity. I've seen your marketing out in the marketplace, and I like it. Optimize that with talking about marketing. What you're working on, how your creativity is working. You'd love to meet them to be able to collaborate because this isn't about fighting our competition. This is about getting in creative and financial alignment to be able to share resources, to be able to help each other out. I got a lot of different stuff that I could take away from that. Once I started to catch on with the handwritten notes and sending the gift, I got it from listening to a kid. This was probably about 4 years ago. This kid he runs a marketing company right now. He was trying to get in front of Tony Robbins. Okay. And Tony Robbins, if you guys don't know who he is, go look him up, consume his content, changed my life about 8 years ago. When I went to unleash the power within. Yes, I walked across fire and did all that. As our group builds, actually, I want to form a group and get back to that. But he was trying to get Tony Robbins' attention, and he found out Tony Robbins liked a certain sneaker at this point in time that he always wore. So what he did was go and buy this sneaker in Tony Robbins' shoe size, and he was mailing one pair of that set of shoes to Tony Robbins. That was his favorite shoe, with a handwritten personal note that if he gave him an opportunity to talk to him, that he would give him the other shoe. And he didn't have enough money to get in his coaching program or one-on-one time. And he definitely articulated his situation, his vision, what he was working on, and why he needed to talk to Tony Robbins. Okay. And I think he ended up buying 3 sets of shoes. And on that third set, by sending the same shoe, the left foot or whatever, Tony Robbins finally had his assistant reach out and said, hey, Tony Robbins likes your creative marketing and he wants those right foot shoes. And so he flew him out, talked to the kid, spent some time with him. Now the kid runs a pretty successful marketing company. And I remember hearing this on his podcast like 4 years ago when I was heavily getting into agent attraction and stuff like that, other than calling and, sounding just like everyone else, right? Other than my charisma, energy, results, social proof. Like from a marketing standpoint, this is about attention. Money follows attention. People follow humor. People follow creativity. And so when I started researching some of these things, and I have a library of letters, a library of things you could buy in bulk to be consistent with getting attention with creativity. Anyways, I know I've took up a lot of your guys' time today. I just wanted to say thank you. We crushed it. We more than doubled our goal. We still have one more month. Actually probably a month and a half, because January 12th was my actual launch date, but I was in Mexico, and then really took me a couple of weeks after that to get going. So it was, really beginning of February, but I launched January 12th. I wanted to add some value. Hopefully you guys follow the core process, get people, if they're producing, on a call with me, leverage me, allow me to build, follow the simple process. I know it seemed too simple. I almost complicated it and was doing my own stuff and convoluting a conversation. Understand, confused minds always say no. Look forward to more of these. Hit me up. Guys, let's hit 500 people. Create that hit list. Give me your MLS full roster. I'll get them in my outbound stuff I'm building. All my stuff has been inbound. I'm going to have outbound systems for us. We're going to be working on some of that stuff. Give me your roster. But off of that MLS roster, create a hit list. Start reaching out to these people. Be creative, all right? Differentiate yourself. Get to lunch. Get to know these people. Be genuinely interested in their business, and they're going to eventually ask you about eXp, and then put them through the core process, and let's just do it. Let's all commit to pulling in 1 to 3 more people before the first of the year. Can you commit to that? We can commit to getting one person fired up, getting them on a call with me, 3 people, right? I'm committed to that. I've just signed up 2 more. I'm back to focusing on my frontline people. I was focused on, pulling people in the network, which I am, but I'm going to ask you to do the same thing that I'm doing. I'm back to focusing on my frontliners. I'm going to pull in another 1 to 3 people over and above the 2 people that I just signed up in the last day or so. Hopefully you can make that commitment. Your family's counting on you. Your partners are counting on you. But more importantly, this is all about freedom, guys. Creating this passive income and building this is to create freedom. And this is why I got into real estate almost 9 years ago. And when freedom means different things to different people, but for me, it's to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whoever the hell I want. You guys stay in just do it mode. Let me know how I can help you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys are all badasses. Thank you. Later.